Hey guys, this is Nathan and welcome back to TechNodeFirmaCraft. Hope you guys are doing good today. I am doing great. But I do have a bit of unfortunate news for you. And that is, we have a whole lot of rotten food here. So I did cut all of the grain off of its straw just to get some more straw to use for insulation here. But unfortunately, I can't find a good use for any of this stuff. And it would appear that as we process it, it stays rotten. So I don't know what else to do with it other than just to go like this and throw it out into the world to despawn. And it's so unfortunate. There's a lot of food there. But that makes me want to make the remaining food that I have, which, by the way, is not very much. We have a decent amount of meat, some cabbage, some beets, some garlic, and then a tiny bit of maize, barley, olives, garlic, oats, and onions that are still able to be used. So I want to try to use that as much as I can. Now, to deal with that, one of the first things that we need to do is make a quern. And that is going to allow us to grind up the grain and make some flour and potentially bread or flatbread. So to do this, we need some smooth stone of some kind, some raw stone of some kind, and we have both of those available here in our chalk. So we'll go ahead and grab a few of these, and 1, 2, 3. And that will make that. Now, the quern also needs the handstone, which requires some more stone and a stick. So let's go ahead and grab 3 more of those, and then we need a stick. So now I do have all of my inventory kind of sorted out here. Hopefully it will help things in the future so that we can find what we need. But we'll go ahead and make the quern and the quern handstone, and we get the grind. All right. Well, let's go ahead and place this down here. We'll place the handstone on top of it. You can see this thing has durability, so it won't last indefinitely. But now let's go ahead and grab, I suppose we'll do the barley first. So we will grab our 14 barley out of here, throw this back in there, and then grab ourselves a knife. Now, one issue that I have been having here is that the barley doesn't stack. So we did get some of it to stack, but not all of it. So then what we want to do is click this onto the handstone, hit the handle, it will grind around, and there we go, the first little bit of flour. So now we're going to place the 13 in here and just repeat the process. So this is what we have to do with this. Now, this is only the first step of what we need to do. And actually we have a little bit extra flour there. We are going to quickly place this back into a vessel. Let's go ahead and grab a vessel and get this in there. Where did the extra one go? That is a good question. I don't know. But anyway, so in order to be able to make anything out of this flour, we need to get some yeast. Now, to get yeast, we need this yeast starter. We need some type of a dried fruit in fresh water. Now, to dry fruit, we need a leaf mat, which is 3 fruit leaves. Now, I have accidentally gotten fruit leaves before, so at least I know how to get these. But we need to dry those last few olives that we have left in existence. So we're going to come down here to this green apple, and we got 4 leaves out of that. So we don't want to cut the top one off of it because that will kill the tree, but we can pull off other leaves and we're fine. So now let's go ahead and combine these together and get our leaf mat. Now, I don't know for sure how much we're going to need here on that, but now let's grab our olives, and I don't know if we can place multiples on here. No, we can do 1 at a time. Oh, well, it is 8 hours per set, and we need to get all of that done within 8 days. Now, drying the fruit should increase the lifespan of it, but I don't like the idea of waiting. So I am going to grab some more of these leaves here. And yeah, we have a few. We also have a little bit of stuff out here that is still growing, of all things. Even though the air temperature is rather low, it's still growing. The other thing is with the lake freezing over, the farmland has turned back into grass. Yeah. Everything about this is not all that great, but hopefully we will be able to continue on. So I'm going to get a bunch more of this stuff dried out, try to get it to where we have some yeast, and then we'll go from there. So we've got a few bits of dried fruit, wrong vessel, and it does double the lifespan on the fruit. But we need to get that turned into yeast. So we need 100 millibuckets of water for each bit of fruit. Now this is an empty barrel, and thankfully we can move 100 millibuckets at a time with our water jug. So we now have 300 millibuckets in here. We'll go ahead and grab our 3. Actually, that's a better idea. We'll just do 1 because we can use flour to make more yeast starter. So this should make the yeast starter. And yeah, we've got a little bit of time here. It's going to take 4 days. So in the meantime, we have a few other things that we need to work out. So once we get all of this stuff done, we need somewhere to cook our bread. So if we go through here a little bit, we need a bucket. Right here, once we get dough, we need to have an oven. So the oven is made with some clay napping. There are some other pieces to this as well. So there is the oven block itself. There are also these oven walls. I don't know for sure how that works. And then the oven chimney. So the oven chimney again is some clay napping. Oven wall is as well. So I'm going to make some of those and fire them up. And we'll see what we can figure out on how that stuff works. So we still have a little bit of time before our yeast starter gets going. So I went ahead and kind of cleaned some things up a bit better here. Moved a lot of the stuff upstairs. So we now have all of our rock related things on this side, and then all of our plant and wood related things on this side. I also got my chiseled blocks over here from Chisels and Bits, and then I moved my bed up here. So we are now actually in a bedroom. Yeah, that's nice. But we have the oven here, and I would like to figure out how this thing works. Now, apparently, we can put grass in here, and it's supposed to turn it into wood ash. Now, this is what I want to try to figure out, is how to use this thing. So let's try, nope, not a fire starter. This might be something similar to what we have to do with Vintage Story. So let's grab ourselves some wood and see, can we do something there? No. Okay, so the next option that I am thinking of is to try putting the walls on this thing, but of course they go into it. Okay, well, that is definitely not right. Well, I think I see what's going on here. No. That is kind of bizarre. Well, let's try putting the chimney above it and see if this does anything then. Do we need the the wall, and now it faces the other direction. I am so confused as to what is going on with this. Yeah, so now they want to face that way. I do not get it. Well, let me see if I can figure out how this thing works, because obviously it has to work, and I'll be back in a little bit. So, hopefully I finally have this figured out now. So, I have 3 oven walls here, and yeah, those are still going to be placing funky. So, we'll place these around where we will be putting the oven block. So then we'll place the oven block itself here, and then we have to have at least 3 chimneys on this thing, which to me seemed a bit ridiculous, but okay. So we'll go ahead and put 3 chimneys up on this, and now this should be a functional multi-block oven structure. Now, we're supposed to be able to put fuel in this thing, and I'm still not seeing anything on putting in fuel. So, I don't know what on earth is going on here. I don't know, we'll try this now. Still nothing. I don't get it. I mean, this is completely baffling to me. So, let me do a little more research. Apparently, I still haven't gotten it figured out. Well, let's see if this works. Apparently, we're supposed to put a piece of straw in the front and 2 pieces of fuel in the back so that we can light. There we go. So now we need to let this cure, I guess. So we gotta let this run through its cycle. And by the looks of it, we're still gonna get some wood ash, but that should work. Unfortunately, my meat just spoiled on me too. So I think we still have, let's see here, this was sealed on the 7th and we need to go to the 11th, and right now it is the 10th. Early morning on the 10th. So I think what I'm going to do, I am going to go out and get some gazelle hunted so that we have some food available. And I will be back after the oven is done, and we'll see what we can do. Oh, and that's rotten too. Great. Well, there are a lot, and I mean a lot, of gazelle out here, but I just got the strangest thing from a gazelle from hunting it that I've ever seen, and that was an arcane scroll of efficiency. Okay, that's interesting. Kind of weird, but interesting nonetheless. But yeah, I mean, just kind of a weird one. I don't know, but I think we've got plenty of meat now. So I'm gonna head back to the base. I'm down to my last javelin anyway. So our yeast starter is now done. We've got 100 millibuckets of this. Now the thing is in order to use it at all, we need an entire bucket of the yeast starter. So the next thing that we need to do is to add a bit of flour to this. So what we're going to do is we are going to add just 1 bit of barley flour to this. We'll unseal it, put this in, and reseal it. And this is now going to turn that into 600 millibuckets of yeast starter. So that will allow us to next put in 6 of these flour. Once we have added the 6, we'll have enough to actually be able to make a bit of bread, I hope. So we'll see how this goes. So we've got some yeast starter. We have our oven now inside of the house. And so, yeah, I think we are about ready to actually make some stuff here. So what we need to do next is grab a bucket of water and some flour, and we'll take our flour, our bucket of water, and a little bit of salt and make some flatbread dough. So we're going to make just 2 of those right now. And then we are going to take this flatbread dough, combine it with some yeast starter and some sugar, and that should give us regular dough. And there we go. So yes, rather expensive actually to make this. Now the sugar is going to be our limiting factor. Salt is not really too difficult. We have the halite literally right over here, just a little bit outside of the base. So that's not bad at all. Now the next thing that I'm kind of curious about is how do we go about fueling this oven? So can we put multiple bits of stuff in here? Do we need to put a piece of wood in there? I have no clue. So this is now the question for me, is how do I use this thing? So let's try putting a piece of grass in here. No. Alright, well, I guess a little bit more checking is in order. So what it looks like we want to do, the fuel slot is the back slots of the oven. We have to have 2 bits of fuel, and then we should be able to light this? No. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab this back out. Don't tell me that we have to use logs for that. Well, let's try this. That is going to be horrible if it has to be. Yep. So we have 2 hours to make a piece of bread. Well, let's just keep an eye on this because it sure as heck shouldn't take that long to make a bit of bread. But the nice part here is the fact that it is warm in here. But we will find that it is not as warm up here. And that is because this oven chimney going through the roof actually is not a solid block. Now I have made some bricks from the previous oven that I made outside, and I also got some of these clinker bricks from Engineer's Decor. I think they look really nice. But what we're going to do is we are going to break out this brick and put a solid brick in its place, and now we can see that our temperature is nice and warm all the time. So having an enclosed space with a fire pit in it makes a huge difference, and we now probably don't even need to have this dry grass on us. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to drop this dry grass off here and just see what that does. Yeah, we're still at 14 degrees. So that is pretty nice. Now I'm trying to remember where I put the wood ash. I think it's actually down here in this one, yes. So how is our bread doing? We are almost done. Oh, geez. If that's the case, if we need to use 2 logs for every piece of bread, oh god, that is way too expensive. I'll have to see if there is a better way to do that, because that seems outrageously expensive. Alright, well, we have that now. See you guys in a little bit. We can make a sandwich. Well, it's not nearly as cold in here as it used to be, but we still need to keep the straw on us at night because it still gets pretty cold in here at night. So now we have our two things of bread. What we want to do is combine these with a knife and we will get slices. So now with the slices, what we can do is actually finally make our sandwiches. So we have some dried olives there, garlic and dried olives and onions, and cabbage and dried olives. Yeah, we're gonna try to use up some of these dried olives and a few other things. So if we look at the uses on this, we combine 2 pieces of bread with a knife and then pretty much any food items in between. But we need 3 full food items in between. So what we're going to do is we're going to put our slices here, that, and I forgot to grab all the other stuff. So we want to have at least a piece of meat in each one of these. We are going to want to use up some of our dried fruit. And then, let's see here, 86, 140, 45. And what have we got in this last one for the cabbage and such? Ooh, 2 days and 7 days. Okay, so, yeah, we're going to use that up as fast as we can. So let's try this one more time. And actually, it looks like we can do it without adding the extra. So I'm not entirely sure. Okay, so it does change the saturation level as well as all the other stuff. So let's say that we put this in there. Okay, it's just going to use 1. So now if we make a sandwich here, we'll make another sandwich. Oh no. I screwed that up. That last one doesn't get the fruit. Or the meat. Ah. Don't shift click there. Just a bit of a warning. So yeah, we have sandwiches now. That is nice. So that should give us multiple food groups all at the same time. So that is pretty nice. I'm a little unhappy about how much fuel this thing takes, but that will be kind of worth it. Alright, well, let me see how we're doing on the episode, and I will be back in a little bit. So, I do have to say, I have never seen my health quite so high, but we are running dangerously low on a few food supplies. We still have some oak flatbread here, but we have very little, even vegetables. But we have no grain left or anything like that. We do have 4 sandwiches with us, and I have grabbed one of the vessels with some of the other food in it. But we are going to be taking tons of small vessels, and we're going to head down to the south and see if we can find anything. Now, one thing that I do think is kind of funny, I have seen this a couple of times as I've run past here, but our boat has sunk in the water and is now under the ice. I think that is absolutely hilarious. So, yeah. Guess that's one of those things that happens. Quickly get out of the water. And yeah, we are going to make a bit of a trip down to the south. So we'll be going through areas that I have not explored before. And of course, we'll be looking for graphite and any other potential ores that we have not seen yet. So, I guess. See you guys. Well, this journey has been a successful failure. Successful in the fact that I have lots and lots of vessels that are full of stuff. Some grain, some meat, some vegetables, of course no fruits or anything, because of the fact that it's the wrong time of the year for fruit. But a failure in the fact that I have died, and I may not have enough room in my inventory to spread out the straw to get back to the base. But I also was able to swing by the various locations that I dropped off logs previously and grabbed those. The other thing is, when I got killed by the coyote, I got my head. So I have a head. That is wonderful. We are finally getting closer to the base, so we can see, about 700 meters away now. So not terribly far anymore. And thankfully the temperature is a little bit higher at the moment, and that's because it's daytime. But once nighttime arrives, it's going to get cold. And so, yeah, I don't know for sure what I'm going to do when nighttime gets here. But, yeah, we have, like I say, a lot more seeds. And we got grain, which is the main thing. Now, anywhere that I had not explored, all of the seeds were partially grown. So I started exploring very heavily in the stuff that I had already explored and found a fair amount of stuff that was already ripe. So I will need to go back down to that area when it is autumn again, because that's when all of that stuff will be ripe once more. So yeah, that's what I've got in mind. Didn't really find anything of interest as far as ores are concerned. I did find now I can't remember the name of it, but it's a slightly radioactive element, a couple of steps down from uranium, and I was not able to bookmark it because coyotes were after me at the time. So yeah, that's just the way that it goes sometimes. So unfortunately, yeah, but we're coming up on the base now. Temperature's still decent, so hopefully I'll make it. So once again, I have some bread being cooked in the oven. So hopefully I can get my health back up. Now it won't be quite as high because we don't have the fruit right now, but this should be enough now to carry me through till spring. Because if we look at the time, we are February 1st. Oh, and if February 1st is AnodeCathode's birthday. Well, that is pretty neat to see. So yeah, we definitely have some stuff that we can use. Now, I suppose we need to get our next little bit of stuff. We'll deal with smithing, so we're gonna have to start building another building. Our blacksmith is going to have to be next. So that is probably what we're going to be working on in the next episode, because I'm close enough that I'm going to call this one good. So I'm going to say thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the episode, be sure to give a thumbs up. If you are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. If you have any thoughts about what I've been working on or anything that you would like to see, be sure to leave that down in the comments, and I will see you next time. Bye.